So 2023 is almost behind us. We only have a few days left of this year. And I did a video talking about some of the best moments of the year in regards to mixed martial arts, or more so the UFC in general. With this year almost being over, it's time to get a bit negative. You got to have some positive and you got to keep some negative. You got to keep it balanced. So this will be my worst UFC moments of the year. And I'm going to start off and I'm sure there's something I've forgotten on this list, but I'm just going to start off with one of the moments that made me completely rage quit when I was watching a stream. I've never done it before. I've never done that when I'm watching a fight. Actually, not true. I did that during Cowboy Cerrone versus Alex Morono, but this time I generally was like, oh fuck this shit. But this is Israel Adesanya knocking out Alex Pereira. Now, it was a sick KO. It was a really good KO. This isn't anything in regards to the KO itself. It was a really amazing KO from Israel Adesanya, but it was the aftermath that I just was a horrible moment in my opinion. Obviously you have Israel Adesanya knock him out. He does the arrow celebration, which I guess I understand that. He's stealing Politan's celebration, but then he points at his son, plays dead, says, what the fuck does he say? He says, I don't, uh, I don't even scores. I settle them. He says that. He says that, and then, now he's just going around saying, you see that guy? You see that UFC light heavyweight champion? I beat that guy one time. Like that's all he's doing now. Now he's on that little reign of his career. And yeah, it is just. I feel like it's a horrible moment because he's just sort of like killing, a lot of his support because it's like, bro, you just lost to Sean Strickland. Focus on your division. Don't be going on about how you KO'd him and all this stuff. Like, you're the guy at the bar, pointing and saying, I beat that guy one time. Like, he's literally turned into what he made up Alex Pereira to be in a hypothetical situation. Like, it is just a bit sad to see, in my opinion. Like, it just created a horrible wave of toxicity, in my opinion. But hey, I'm sure it makes Israel Adesanya happy. It was a big moment. It was a cool moment, but I just don't understand still going on about it. Like you didn't lose the other three fights, but still, it's not the worst moment of the year. But it is. It is like obviously there is a moment on here that I would say is my personal worst moment. This isn't in any order, by the way. These moments, but this isn't the worst moment. Just I thought I should mention it because like I did rage quit. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Alex Pereira to win. Uh, yeah, I was really hoping Israel Adesanya would lose again, but it is what it is. It wasn't entirely just because I'm not a big fan of Israel Adesanya. It was just because I really do like Alex Pereira. So to see Alex Pereira get knocked the fuck out and then his son get mocked wasn't a fun moment. But hey, if you see my best UFC moments slash MMA moments, Alex Pereira got his. Then we had Islam Makhachev beating Alexander Volkanovski on short notice. Now this one really fucking hurt. This one really fucking hurt. This was a horrible moment to see, especially like 5 a.m. in the morning, staying up. Like fuck, man. Volk's taken on short notice, but maybe he's gonna start off where he finished off. I was giving myself some false hope. I was like watching the fight back. Volk was making it look close and. Maybe he's going to come in more aggressive, more confident since we seen what happened the first time they fought. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Volk took this on short notice. It did scare me a bit, the whole short notice nature of the fight. And then to go into the fight and Volk to actually stuff a takedown early, I'm like, fuck, man, maybe Volk's actually going to get this one done. Maybe Volk's coming. Here comes the Volkinator. But no, he gets fucking caught with a flush head kick and knocked out. Gets his fucking knee pressed against his throat and gets absolutely fucking hammer-fisted. So yeah, that was not fun to watch. You just see his head bounce back after every shot. Generally one of the worst moments in mixed martial arts for me. Like watching that fight live was like, oh no, it's the end, isn't it? Like just seeing that was fucking horrible. It really did ruin my fucking morning. Obviously stayed up, sleep deprived. And then I go and see this happen. The rest of the card was pretty shit. And then to see Islam Makhachev knock out my boy was not fun. I'm just sitting there like, why the fuck do I watch this stupid sport? Like, I was literally like, fuck's sake, cunt, why do I watch this shit? Like, I was generally getting so pissed off, but it's alright. It is what it is. These things happen in mixed martial arts. But it was a Horrible moment for me as an Australian MMA fan, as a big time Volkanovski fan. I'm not even an Islam Makhachev hater. I just really like Volk, but it still fucking hurt. Especially like he's shushing us. It's like, come on, man, don't fucking add insult or injury. I'm fucking suffering here. I'm fucking fighting for my life. Okay, then we have Gamrot's fluke victory over Rafael Fiziev. This one's just on here because, like, how the fuck he can't keep getting away with it. You know, Mateus Gamrot cannot keep getting away with it. I don't know how he's doing this. Every single fucking, fight, he somehow gets a fluky victory. I just don't know how the fuck this guy keeps doing this. He must have went to the same Polish mystic school as Jan Blachowicz, because I really have absolutely no fucking clue how he does it. He must have the same rope as Jan Blachowicz, because he just seems to have this Polish magic or something, some Polish voodoo. Because he just goes in there, he'll be losing, he'll get his ass kicked, fluke injury. It happened with Carlos Diego Ferreira. All the judges will give him a decision that's really close, that could go the other way. Like, I generally don't know how the fuck this guy has all the luck in the world. I'm concerned about Rafael dos Anjos' shins, because somehow he's gonna break his fucking shin walking around in the octagon. Because I don't know, I don't know how Mateus Gamrot keeps doing this. He gets a fluke victory over Rafael Fiziev, puts his arms up in the air and acting like he just won the UFC championship. I don't know, like, bro, you won on a technicality because he got injured. Like, show a bit of class, mate. Show a bit of class. Like, I get it, I'd be happy too, but like, I wouldn't be fucking acting like I just dethroned Islam Makhachev. I thought that was a bit of a weird moment from Gamrot, but just the fluke nature of it, Rafael Fiziev to tear his ACL over that was just, yeah, that was fucking horrible to see. Like, it wasn't good in my opinion. Next up, we just have the bastardization of the main events. We had horrible main events this year. Like, just fights that shouldn't have been main events. We had Grant Dawson main eventing a card. Like, all respect to Grant Dawson, but it's Grant Dawson. Like, nobody wants to see Grant Dawson main event. I don't even think Grant Dawson's family wants to see Grant Dawson main event. Like, obviously, he went in there and got smoked by Bobby Green, but, like, he seems like a nice guy and everything, but I don't want to see... I didn't want to see Grant Dawson in a main event. Obviously, we had the Holly Holm fucking main event train continues. We had Holly Holm versus Mauro Buna Silva. What other main events did we have? Oh, we had Abus Magomedov have a main event in his second UFC fight. Obviously, it was against Sean Strickland, but like, still, what the fuck? We had Song Yadong versus Chris Gutierrez. Horrible main event as well. Like, overall, we had some really stinker main events. Like, there were some good ones, don't get me wrong, but like Brendan Allen versus Paul Craig is a main event. Almeida versus Lewis wasn't fun. We had good ones, but like, it just felt like this year was a lot of shit main events. Then there was like the mismatches, the Holloways versus the Korean Zombies. We had Luque versus Dos Anjos. Like, I don't know. It was either main events were really shit, random, or complete mismatches like Tom Aspinall versus Marcin Tybura. Like, it is really weird. Obviously, there was some good ones. I mean, but even then, this was still a mismatch when you look at it. It was Vettori versus Cannonier. Cannonier still beat the fuck out of him. I don't know. It was just a really bad year for fight night main events, in my opinion. We just had some real weird ones. Like, I don't know, just a weird year overall when it comes to main events. Like, we started off pretty strong. Obviously, we had the... even then, Strickland and Marvov's not like the greatest fight, but we had like Jan versus Devashis Wheelie, we had Vera versus Sandhagen, Holloway versus Allen, Pavlovich versus Blades. We were starting off strong, and then it just went completely fucking downhill for the main events. So it just feels like a bastardization a little bit of the main events, like what constitutes a UFC main event. It feels like the standard used to be up here, now it's like down here. Like, it wasn't, it just showed a lot. Like, the UFC is just not caring about main events anymore. They'll just put some sort of big name, big ranked fighter, and they'll be like, oh, alright, that's it, time to go home. Then we had a step down in fight quality compared to 2022. Now, I guess this is subjective, but I just feel like last year had so many better fights. We had fucking Yuri Prohaska versus Glover Teixeira. Like, I mean, it is hard to beat that fight, I'm not going to lie. But, like, I don't know. Overall, it just felt like the fight quality went down a little bit. I'm trying to remember some of the other UFC 2022 fights. Giga Shikadze versus Kelvin Cater, cool main event. Uh, you know, Dos Anjos versus Moicano was cool. That wasn't a main event, but it was a good fight. I'm not saying that's a fight of the year. I'm just looking for the schedule and everything. Like, we had some really good fights. Uh, Obviously, we had some shit fights as well. Volkov versus Aspinall was a cool performance. 273, what fight was that? Volk beating up the Korean Zombie. We just had great performances. Overall, we just had really fun fights. Like, Oliveira versus Gaethje was a really cool fight. Like, we just had so many big fights. Like, everything felt really big. The fights were overall really fun. Like, Armin Sarukian and Matthias Gamrot had like a fucking fight of the night. Like, that's just how good the fight quality was last year. While this year, I don't know, it just took a bit of a dip fight quality wise. Like, we had better big moments this year in the UFC, but overall we didn't really have the greatest quality of fights. Obviously, there was the Alexander Volkanovskis, the Dan Hookers versus Jarlin Turner, Manel Cape versus Felipe dos Santos. Like, there was really good fights, but like overall, last year just blew it out of the water, in my personal opinion. And then we just have the biggest, worst UFC moments, which is the judging turning into boxing. We had Corey Sandhagen go out there, win every round against Chito Vera, and we had a split decision, 48-47 to Chito Vera. Like, that is fucking horseshit, okay? That is one of the worst moments. Then we had the other ones, like the people, there was a 29-28 scorecard for Kevin Holland over Jack Della Maddalena. Holland did nothing. He was just having fits over Jack Della Maddalena's high guard. There was other fights, like Tabitha Ricci got a 30-27 over Lupi Godinez, even though she clearly lost that fight. Like, there's just been some horrible judging moments. Like, the judging in mixed martial arts and, the UFC in general has just gotten so fucking horseshit. Like, I don't know, it's turning into boxing when it comes to this. Like seriously, like fucking seriously, man. How do you fuck up scorecards that badly? What are the, let me just look at some of the fights this year. Because I remember there being so many bad judging errors. Especially, oh man, like it was just a horrible year. Like Grasso versus Shevchenko. I don't know how anybody gave a 10-8 to Grasso in that fight. There was no 10-8 rounds. Like, it made absolutely no fucking sense. That was one of the weirder ones. Then obviously you have your oh god, man, I'm like trying to think off the top of my head. I just know there was a lot of weird decisions that really shouldn't have gone. Like, there was Damon Blackshear versus Mario Batista. That was a real weird one. Should have gone to Damon Blackshear. But there was a lot of really bad robberies. I just can't think of all of them off the top of my head because there were so many. But there generally was. Judging has taken a big hit. Like I say, Corey Sandhagen clearly wins a fight and then has a fucking split decision. Like, on his record, it's gonna say split decision. People are gonna say, "Well, fuck, man, that might be a really close. That was a really close one, though." Corey Sandhagen, you only beat Chito Vera by split decision. Like, that's what people are gonna say. People are gonna act like that. They're gonna act like it's close. They're gonna say, "This fight could have actually gone to Chito Vera." Like, people are gonna have that narrative when they go and read back the Wikipedia. Like, people who didn't watch the fight. But like Corey Sandhagen, for all extents and purposes, like clearly beat Chito Vera. So it's just been a fucking shit year for judging. And then my last one. Now this one, I don't know, people might be upset about this one, but this one's just the reign of Leon Edwards. Not so much just the reign of it, but Kamaru Usman not winning the belt back. This is just a personal moment. I feel like Leon Edwards has sort of killed welterweight a bit. And don't get me wrong, Colby Covington probably would have killed it too. But I just miss Kamaru Usman as champion, man. He was active. He was having banger fights. He fought 3 times a year. Now we're lucky that we got a second fight for Leon Edwards this year. A super active champion would fight all comers. He was talking about super fights after defending the belt like 4 times. Like his activity was crazy. Like, Kamaru Usman was an active champion. Like, even this year, he goes and fights Hamzat Chimaev on super short notice. Like, it is just a damn shame not to have this man as champion anymore. Like, look at the guys he beat. Like, he beat Tyron Woodley, then defends against Colby, defends against Jorge, defends against Burns, defends against Jorge again, then beats Colby. Like, the man was just active. He was having crazy fights. Like, there was plenty of fight of the nights. He got a fight of the night with Colby. A lot of more so performances of the nights. Got the cool KO over Gilbert Burns. Got a cool KO over Jorge Masvidal. And now we just have Leon Edwards. Just sort of bore festing his way to wins. Like, he is just a decision guy. And I know Usman wasn't like a knockout artist to start it, but he sort of leveled up as champ. I feel like Leon hasn't really leveled up. He's not really like going out there and being super active. So like, this is just my personal opinion on it. I just miss Kamaru Usman as champion. Like, him not beating Leon Edwards actually does sort of ruin the welterweight division. Hopefully, Shavkat, maybe if he beats Leon, he'll probably be an active champ. Maybe even Bilal will be an active champ. But like, come on, it's Bilal. Do we really want Bilal to be champion? But who knows? Maybe if Bilal is an active champion, even though he's boring as shit and I'd rather watch flies fuck, it would probably still be better than Leon as champion. But I don't know. This is just my own personal opinion on the matters. But anyway, these are my worst UFC moments of the year. There's probably more I could have had here, but these are just like the worst moments I could think of off the top of my head. It hasn't been an amazing year for the UFC. It's had big moments, but drop in fight quality, the judging's going to shit, weird matchmaking decisions. We had fucking Anthony Smith versus Ryan Spann 2. I had to mention that. Pointless rematches. That's another thing. We have so many pointless rematches this year, but yeah, overall, there was some pretty bad moments this year, but hopefully next year will be an improvement. But I don't know, man. It seems like the product in general is being bastardized a little bit, so we can just hope the next year is just a really good fight, entertainment, fight quality, matchmaking, hype. Yeah, we just need to hope the next year is a lot better, in my opinion. But still, it was an overall good year, but there was just some pretty horrible moments. But anyway, that's all I've got to say on the matter. So make sure you give this video a like. If you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe put on the notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Adios, amigos.